All right, happy day, whatever day you're watching this. This one's super cool. I had a buddy I was chatting with this morning, and he said, tell you what, it was a real rough year last year, and this year it's crazy peaceful. And the difference is, he says, I'm being really present in the now, which actually is kind of fun. I was chatting with a great gal who we were chatting about some stuff with brain, because I'm a super nerd there too. But there's a book called from Norman, and I apologize if I say it wrong. It's Doidge, Doidge. It's called The Brain That Changes Itself, and it talks a little bit about the difference between depression and anxiety. And this is a neat thing. I kind of tied a little bit more to it too, but depression is based on fear and has to do with the past. Anxiety has to do with fear in the future. And a lot of people aren't living in the absolute present right now. They're there and they're there, but it's all based on fear. Inversely, when we talk about God, how he has love. And so this is kind of the flash I had this morning where I was on my accountability call there too. And I was thinking about this from instead of time moving forward with things with fear, let's flip it around with love. From a future, instead, it's anticipation over anxiety. And that's about that future. But also then if you go back, it's reflection instead of depression. But either way, it's just living in the future right now. So when you recognize that, the whole point is that when you have that fear, it's a lie in a sense of there's something that's trying to manipulate there too. But that whole point was, again, from his book. And he has another one that's a brain's way of healing. If you think about it too, is where are you right now? Are you in the present? Are you living intentionally? And remember, John Maxwell, he talked about the two words he could sum up all his books. He says, live intentionally. That's one thing. I like to live intensely intentional, if you haven't noticed, but it's focused so much in the now. Have a vision for the future and get super, again, I'm excited. There's an anticipation of it. And I reflect, I sit back, go, gosh, wake up and God, thank you for today. End of the day, I go, wow, thank you for that today, or whatever day it is. So here's my question then is, do you have anticipation of the future or anxiety of the future? Do you reflect, or are you depressed when it talks about something in the past that I had an experience, I had something, and the enemy's like, nah, I'm going to hold you down on that one, versus I'm going to use that potentially as the biggest platform to relate with other people, because there's things that have happened to you that have not happened to me. And yet if someone else has something you can relate with, I can't relate with that person, but you can. And think about the most powerful things that overcome those fears. They're the most inspirational stories. I went to a Bethel concert last night, and there's a gal who was, there's a sex trafficking thing, and she was being trafficked, but she flipped over on the other side. Now she is helping so many women go through that tough challenge. I can't relate with that, but she's able to use that past where someone could be so, and it's, I will not minimize it. I didn't live it, but she's using it to help people get through for that anticipation of the future as well too. And we all got to live together in this community. But the biggest lie, especially on reflection in the past, so the fear of depression, and the biggest one there is that you're alone. It's the biggest lie ever. I'm just going to say that right now. So anyways, hope this finds you doing well a little bit longer, but totally live in the present. Live in the present right now. Love, if you're going to be looking forward to the future, get excited about what God has for you there too. So if you're in those other two, just tell you what, there's someone who needs to hear your story. Believe me, you're not alone. I can't solve everybody. I don't have all the answers, but be present, live in the now. So hope you have a super blessed day. Take care.